What's up, guys? We are here with ProdGuest. What do you actually go by? I just call you ProdGuest because that's like how I've seen your username. But your producer name is just Guest.
Producer name is Guest OS, but
Guest OS. All right,
honestly, I don't really care.
I'll keep that in mind. You're gonna have to remind me because I've been putting these on YouTube too. So when I actually do put it on YouTube, I'll change it to your actual name. Um, yeah. So how did we meet? I feel like this is something I've been asking every single person because I never know. What up, Average Cash? Thanks for that bit. Or
I'm pretty sure I was just browsing random Twitch streamers on under like the hip hop category, and then I sort of found you. Then
I'm trying
you
to
know
I'm trying to think of
started
like
interacting.
yeah. No, that's exactly how it happened. I'm trying to think of like the exact night we met. I want to say yeah, it was something like that. Like I was probably it was like very early on in my streaming, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, because when I think of like the OGs from like my streaming shit, I think of you. I think of like Guitara, Dev, and Longboy, obviously. Um, Someone said go follow my Insta. Yeah. So I think that I was probably like freestyling or doing some dumb shit, and then you popped in, and then you've helped me a bunch of times at this point. But I think like one of the first times I met you too, you helped me with some sort of mixing. I think.
yeah. That sounds like that sounds accurate.
Yeah, I think it was something like I don't know if this was you or someone else, but I think it might have been you. Just the first time I met you, I think I was doing my own mixing, and now that you and a couple other people have taught me, I'm like a lot better at it already. But I remember when I first started doing my mixing, I'm pretty sure you popped in and you were kind of just like, "Oh my god, don't," like you weren't a dick about it, but I think you were like, "Oh my god, man, don't do that. Like don't do that with the compression. Don't do that with the EQ or some shit."
Oh, I think I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was something like that. It was either you or like a couple people have done that too. Um, as like a producer, when you go into these streams and you see people mixing their own shit, or does it like kind of drive you crazy sometimes?
No, it doesn't drive me crazy. I just try to give feedback when I can.
I remember that you were always really cool about it, and like that's why I liked you from the start because you were cool about it and helpful without being like pretentious in any sort of way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like when I mentioned that you were you this might not even happen. I could be making this up, but when I mentioned like before that you might have came in and been like, "Yo, don't do that." It's not like you were ever in like a dude, like, "What are you, a moron? Don't do that" kind of way. It was more like, "Hey, maybe you want to turn this knob this way because that might help you out." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that was cool, and that's what like I always appreciated. Some people are like total fucking snobs about it. Have you met like any music snobs?
Yeah, honestly, I don't meet a lot, but I've met a few, and it's like, bro, why are you even in? Like one time, I was in like a feedback channel, right,
Mm-hmm.
on some Discord, and then someone goes like, "Oh yeah, the whole thing's trash," and I'm
Oh my
like,
god.
"Okay, what about it?" And then he like tried elaborating, but it was kind of clear that he was just hating the hate, and I was like, all right, whatever.
I fucking hate people like that who just hate with like it's one thing if you're giving I think I've talked about this before, but it's one thing if you're giving some sort of feedback where you're like, "Yo, this is like not that you should ever be like, "Yo, this fucking sucks." But if you were like, "Yo, this kind of like is not great. This is what you need to do." That's a little bit different, but like in that situation, and I have seen shit like that before, and I've also experienced shit like that before. It's like, dude, you are not offering any feedback that's actually like constructive, you know.
Yeah.
There was one time where it wasn't even a good song of mine and it was almost like a not a joke song but like a song that I just wrote for that night. I wrote it for fun and I knew I was never going to put it out and I knew it wasn't good. It was you know the song Creep by Radiohead?
Oh yeah, yeah.
I don't
I
know
think
if
I
you,
was there for that stream.
yeah, you might have been there for that stream too. So guys, I did like a Creep Radiohead hip hop cover and like one for me to ever even like get the rights to put that on Spotify or anything, it just would never happen. So it's not like I was even writing it in the sense where I'm like, oh, like I'm gonna put this out, whatever. I literally wrote it in like 2 hours, maybe less, and I'm like, all right, like this is a song that I did, whatever. Like it's fun. It's fun for the night. I'm not gonna ever really put it out or whatever besides like SoundCloud. But I remember I went to a music feedback stream and I posted that song. I'm like, oh, this is probably cool. He's probably gonna like fuck with it and be like, oh, it's funny, like whatever. Just like it's good for what it is, which is like a non-serious song. And the dude literally listened to like 30 seconds of it before I even started rapping and before anything, when it was really just like the beat playing, and he just like shit on it so hard that he refused to play the rest of the song. And like he was like, nope. He's like, I'm not doing this. He's like, I like this is just not happening. Why did you even make this? I'm sorry. The beat is horrible. This is just the worst thing ever. Like, why'd you do it? And I'm like, bro, you didn't even listen to it. Not that I even thought it was good, but like, you're not even gonna let it fucking play first. Yeah, long boy, you remember that guy? He was just such a douche about it. And like, there's people like that, and then there's people like you who actually give like constructive, not even criticism, but like constructive, helpful, like hint type things, you know?
Yeah. Honestly, sometimes it's like for me, there's like some people who will just say it's bad, but like not in a rude way, but they won't elaborate. And I still kind of take that as like I still think of that as criticism.
Mm-hmm.
They just don't feel like elaborating. And then there's also some people who are like really just saying stuff just to say stuff. It's kind of hard to differentiate between those two in my opinion, but it's like I feel like sometimes you can tell.
I know exactly what you mean by the first thing you said, because that I actually experienced that myself last night. So after I interviewed my boy PME last night, I was like about to go to bed, and I'm like unwinding and shit. So I went to a music review. It was that guy. I don't know if you've seen him. Stay on Beat is his name. Just some music review
I
guy
don't
out
think I've
there.
seen him.
Word. It's not really important, but he just had some people on, and I remember listening to. And I didn't say this in the chat. I didn't say anything in the chat really. I was just watching, but I remember hearing a song, and I'm just like, well, this is like objectively bad, and like I didn't really have any I didn't say that to the guy because I don't want to make him feel bad, and also it's not my music review. Who the fuck cares what I say? But yeah, I was in that kind of situation where I'm like, yo, this is like objectively bad, and I have no criticism for you. I can't tell you how to make it better. Like some things are just like I don't know, like lost causes.
Yeah, I think it's like even then it's still like helpful to the person because it's like if they know it's bad, then it's like they can actually start at least search for like a reason that to like improve it, you know.
Have you had a situation? It just kind of reminds me of this because this has happened to me a couple times. Have you had a situation where you thought something was like pretty good, and maybe you either went to a music review thing like I was talking about, or you showed it to someone and they're kind of like, no, this is bad?
Oh yeah, plenty of times, plenty of times.
Yeah, that's happened to me sometimes. I'm like the type of person where, although I do like criticism a lot. I think criticism is important. Obviously, if it's like the guy I told you about before who doesn't even listen to the fucking thing, I don't respect his opinion because you played 20 seconds and I didn't even come in yet. But there's been a couple times where I wrote a song and I'm like, this is gonna be really good, whatever. And then I went to a music review thing, like two or three, and like all of them are just like, yeah, this is bad. And I'm like, all right, well, I guess I'm not releasing that one next.
Yeah.
That's happened to me before. Do you submit your beats to music review or no?
Not
Thanks
usually.
for the
There's a
cheer,
few
brother.
places I'll go if I like need to do that, but um yeah, I don't get as much feedback as some people.
Do you have people you can rely on for feedback besides like Twitch streamers?
Yeah,
Like you got your boys and
I have a few
stuff.
friends.
You got
Yeah.
you got your boys. You've showed me stuff before too, obviously. I think Twitch feedback streams, music feedback streams are like tricky because one, I feel like it's one I feel like, and this is myself included, honestly, because I do music feedback streams sometime. It's like, one, they don't give you technical feedback, and two, I feel like half the time they're just kind of like, that was good, and then they like move on, and they don't really tell you much. There's this one dude who I saw who I think he just started doing it. I put one of my songs in his music review thing because I had never seen him before. And then there's three people ahead of me. I'm like, all right, so it might take like 20 minutes, 30 minutes. But like for an hour, like an hour and 15 minutes, he just spent on one guy, which is cool as fuck for him. But you know what I mean? That's like one of the only dudes who I've seen on here who's doing like super, super extensive feedback where like he's talking about like the dynamics and he's talking about like the structure of the song and like all this crazy shit. Um, but like besides that guy who I've seen, I feel like most people are just kind of like, yo, this is good. Or like sometimes, like in my situation, sometimes they might just be like douches and be like, yo, this sucks. And like not tell you why it sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't.
I think also sometimes some people just like if they usually don't give feedback or like specific things that you need to fix, I feel like they usually just don't have they're not confident that they know enough to speak on it.
Yeah, that's kind of like me when I do music feedback. Usually when I do music feedback, I post in my title. I just write like music feedback from like a music lover. So like people know I'm not like a producer. And like most of the time when people do send in beats, I'll tell them right off the top, I'm like, yo, I can't really give you technical feedback about this or tell you about your 808s or snares or anything. I could just tell you as like a random listener, like what I think sounds good, which I think is also valuable too. Cause like when I do, like
Yeah.
obviously there's Twitch music feedback, but when I do get feedback from my boys, it's not like I only hit up the musicians too. I also hit up the friends who just like music because I feel like it's just as important like the technical aspect on it, like hit up someone like you who knows the technicalities behind it. I feel like that's just as important as like hitting up some random dude who just like would know what sounds good or what sounds bad.
Yeah, there's like a creative aspect and then there's like the technicalities behind it. And then like some people can do both. Some people can only do like one or the other. Some people are lost in like the technicalities and then other people are just your average listener.
I totally agree. I think I 100% like the creative aspect more than like the technicalities. I'm just trying to. I've been trying to kind of learn on my own about like music theory type things like recently and like song structures and shit. Like I didn't even I just am like a very untrained artist, as in like I just do it from like ear what I think sounds good. I'm just starting to find out about all this like AABA shit, AABC, like all like the different like actual music theory behind it, which I do think is super interesting too. But do you think you like the it might be different as a producer. Do you think you like the creative aspect of it more, or do you kind of like the science behind it almost, like the technical shit?
Honestly, I love like the technicalities behind it, but
Hmm.
also I think I've recently been like I don't know, I feel like there's a balance there I want like a balance between both, you know?
Yeah, no, I totally agree because we're kind of like on, I guess, almost like opposite ends of the spectrum, I guess, because you're more technical, I feel like, but you still do like creative shit, and I'm like more like the creative side, but I still do like to learn about technical shit, and I'm trying to learn more. Yeah, I think there's like a good balance. I feel like if you see someone who's like way too technical about it and they're not like getting too creative with it, you can like hear it, and it just sounds like kind of like a cookie
Yeah.
cutter song, and like it's like, bro, like a fucking AI could have made this shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then,
Honestly, I think the creative part of everything should be prioritized first
hmm
before learning technicalities. That way cuz like creativity is something like you can't really be taught necessarily. It's kind of like I mean like you can learn techniques, right? But that kind of falls in the category of like technicality. And
I
then it's about actually like applying it and like manifesting it from your own head that kind of makes it like unteachable. So like
I
once you can get that down then you'll have everything else.
I completely agree. I feel like it's not easy, but it's way easier to teach someone like we're talking about like song structure, like music theory. It's like easier to teach someone that than it is to like teach someone the creative process behind it. Like because I feel like the technical aspect, it's like cut and dry. It's like, yo, this is what you need to do with this knob. This is what you need to do with the gain. You want to make sure this is between this and this. And like the creative aspect is like easy to understand yourself, but like I would never know how to like really teach that to someone, you know? It's like it's hard to put into words, and even if you are good at putting shit into words, it's like hard for other people to like comprehend. It's like a very like hands-on thing,
It's
I feel
something you
like.
can't copy because it's creative. It has to come from them. So it's really impossible to come from someone else.
I totally agree. And like we said before, I feel like you can tell when someone's too technical. I feel like you can also kind of tell when someone's like it's kind of like the opposite, like when someone's too not too creative, but like when someone's like does not care enough about like stuff like song structure and things like that.
Yeah.
Like for example, there's this guy who sent me there's this dude who I saw on Reddit. I posted like some subreddits and I'm like, yo, if anybody wants a collab, whatever, I'm just trying to get better. You know, we could just collab for free. Obviously, you just hit me up, just send me your verse and send me the beat, and like it's done. And some dude sent me like him on a verse, and he's like, "Yo, I just want you to do the chorus," and like it was so out of whack because I told him that too because he did like I don't know what exactly it was, but it was something like he did two like 8 bar verses, and there was like 100 bars for the chorus. I'm like, bro, like it's not. Like, I was like, yo, I don't care if it's like fucking perfect, but like I don't know what you want me to like do here. It's not really set up the right way, dog. Um, so there's shit like that, obviously too. Yo, Average Cash, thank you for the cheers, brother. Thank you so much. So how long have you been making music? How long have you been making beats for?
um, like 4 years. Yeah.
How old are you?
17.
Okay, cool. Dude, every time I go into my Discord, you are always grinding it out on FL Studios, bro. Like always. Like some it tells you like I guess it I'm not even I'm super new to Discord, but it tells you like what program people are on. Bro, I swear to God, every time I'm on, it's like, yo, ProdGuest is on FL Studios. I'm like, bro, that boy is fucking grinding, dog. That boy is fucking
Nah, it's a I use it as I process my voice through it. It's like when I'm on a mic, then I always have an FL tab open. I also leave my computer on. So if you see like, oh, he's been on for fucking like 20 plus hours, it's like, oh yeah, I just left my Discord and FL Studio open.
Oh, stop being humble. I know you're grinding your ass off on FL Studios. So, you've been making beats for 4 years. Is that like the end game for you? Are you in school for? I think you might have told me this. Are you in school for music too, or no?
No, just normal.
Oh, maybe I'm bugging then.
Normal school.
So your end goal is like you want to go into the music industry. You think, or you're not sure yet?
Honestly, I just want to be able to self-sustain, and that's pretty much it. If I can self-sustain off doing just whatever, then I'm content.
Okay, yeah, I feel that. Yeah, that's kind of the dream for me too. I feel like just not having to like clock in and out somewhere, just being able to kind of do my own thing. I like what I'm doing right now, which is like living in the middle of nowhere. I don't have to deal with any bullshit or like anybody really, you know.
Yeah.
Do you post your beats up on like YouTube and stuff like that?
I used to like somewhat frequently, but um, I really stopped within the past year. But I have a lot of like, cause I really wanted to make an album, but like I can just never get to like completing a beat, cause I feel like I need more. I want more practice with arrangement, and it's something I've really been lacking.
Hmm.
And so I just have like hundreds of loops just like ready to be made into songs, but I kind of just need to practice with transitioning stuff, like developing different structures.
Right, and when you say you want to make an album, so I've totally have no idea how the process works for making an album as a producer. Are you talking about like finding artists, or you mean just like you're putting out like a beat tape type shit?
Um, yeah, I'll probably do like some like I want like a beat tape and also like just like a plethora of songs with other artists. There's this one artist, one of my friends I've been working with for like forever, and
Hmm.
like I kind of want to make me and him are trying to like make an album, so that's sort of the plan right now.
That'd be cool. I feel like it must be a really cool feeling as a producer to hear like an artist on your beat on like your work. You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
I feel like it's in a way, I feel like I would enjoy it because I feel like if you send that beat to someone and they're like, yo, I'm gonna make a song, it's like cool because you have no idea where they're gonna like go with it really.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like what they're gonna do lyric wise, what they're gonna do like arrangement wise, like what it's gonna sound like in general. I feel like that must be like a really cool feeling to do.
I've been kind of thinking about um I want to see if I can make like lyrics and like a cadence and then have someone perform it for me because like I don't really think I'm pretty dog shit at like lyrical or like lyrics and like singing like the whole vocal scene. But I always have like really good cadences in my head, like rhythm, like vocal patterns or like rhythms that I can like imagine in my head on the track.
I
It's
feel
like it's hard to like translate that with an artist, especially when you're like not with them. And that's one thing I also want to like really want to do, like have like a studio interaction with somebody while they're making the vocals. That way I can like suggest make like live suggestions and then they can also like I have this idea, let me change the arrangement of the beat for a second, and it's like they both sort of lift each other's elements up.
Yeah, I feel like that would be really cool. I feel like the cadence that you're talking about probably comes pretty naturally to you as a producer. I feel like it kind of correlates with that, just like having the beat down, the cadence, and shit like that. I do think that's really
Yeah,
cool. It's almost like another route I feel like maybe you could go to, like even just for a song if you wanted to. But um, the I've seen this guy. Have you seen that guy? He's always around Twitch. Zale, his name is just Zale.
Sale.
He makes
I don't
beats.
think I've heard him.
He makes beats, but he doesn't rap on it. But he does sing like the sample in the background, and like he just makes the beat and then just does the sample in the background, which is really cool. Um, that's like something
Oh,
that
like
he does.
acapellas.
Yeah, yeah, like something like that, like something in that kind of
I've
sense, which
worked
is
with a
really
few
cool.
acapellas. They're pretty fun to like work with because there's already like a cadence established.
Hmm.
So then you sort of like build the beat around it, and then it kind of like merges together the way you want it. Because you have the vocals from the beginning, so then you don't have to like worry about how they're gonna fit onto your beat, and you can actually just like fit your beat to that because it's all there.
Yeah, I totally agree. Also, what up, Guitara? What up, PME? Thank you guys for coming here. Thanks for stopping by. Another thing that guy Zale does too is because I know you said you're not like, I guess right now you're not like super confident in your vocals. He throws like a ton of effects on his voice too. So like it's almost like sounds like a, I don't want to say robot. It almost sounds like it's not a human singing it, which is cool because he just throws like a shit ton of effects. but like his like cadence and like his lyrics are really really good, which is cool. What's up, Average Cash? Thank you, man. Yeah, you are part of the Danger fam. But that'd be cool. I feel like ghost writing is always like an option too. Is that what you're kind of talking about? Where you're like, you want to kind of write it and someone else to execute it?
Yeah, yeah.
Have you ever thought about what are your thoughts on ghost producing?
Just producing.
I
Honestly, I haven't like dabbled much into it.
I don't know how true this is, but I was on Omegle. Yeah, I was I don't think you were in the stream, yes, but for anyone watching who wasn't in the stream as well, I was on Omegle one night in the music section, and I was honestly there to like troll people and just do some stupid shit. But like then I this guy popped up and he just dude we talked for like 2 hours and he's just talking about music and it's like the super eccentric like crazy guy chain smoking cigarettes. He's got tons of energy. He's probably like, coked up or some shit, and he tells me all these stories. And apparently, and obviously this is like might not be true, he said he's from Morocco and he ghost produced a shit ton of like huge bangers there, and like he had to move because of some reason to the US, and he told me like all these crazy stories and all these cool artists he's worked with. And again, it probably just bullshit, but like that's just what came to my mind when we started talking about ghost producing. But I feel
Hmm.
like you have to be a certain type of person to do something like ghost writing or ghost producing. Like I feel like if we're talking about ghost writing, we got to talk about like Quentin Miller. Do you know his story or not?
No, I don't know.
He's like apparently I actually I don't know why I'm saying apparently because I'm pretty sure this is proven. I believe that he wrote like a bunch of like hits for Drake, and like wrote it as like a ghost writer, and there's like a huge like scandal type thing about it. And I don't know why he even came forward and said that he's the one who ghost wrote it, but I feel like you got to be a certain type of person, which is like that certain type of person being like you don't give a fuck about like fame at all, you know.
Mm,
And it's like the
yeah.
same thing with like ghost producing too, which I feel like depending on what kind of person you are, that might be even more ideal for some people. If you're still making like a ton of money and shit without having to deal with like I don't know, annoying shit like not being able to go eat with your family or go somewhere, it might be like ideal for that kind of person.
Mm. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. At first, I was like ghost producing because it's like with ghost writing. It's like, oh, someone has a better voice, they can do the vocals. But then, like with ghost producing, it's like at first I was thinking that it just made no sense, right? Like if you're not producing it, then like, are you really the producer? But then there's that fame aspect, and I think that's pretty interesting and like a valid reason.
Yeah, I feel like I don't know, like even someone like DJ Khaled, who's obviously like a huge producer. I feel like I don't know, there might be someone who actually made the beat. And they're like, "Yo, Khaled, you can make this a hit, and you can make us a ton of money. Like you take this and run with it, whatever." And like I feel like there's ghost writing, and then there's also just writing credits, which is like something I didn't really look into until like someone pointed it out. They're like, "Yo, even if you go on Spotify and you look up a song, like say you look up a song by Kanye West, and like there's nothing in like it doesn't say featured on it or whatever, it just has Kanye West. It's like, yo, if you go and look at the writers, like half the time, and I'm just using him as an example. It's not like specific to him, but it's like, yo, if you go look at the writers on it, there's like sometimes like fucking 20 writers on like all of these songs. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's not like a lot of the time like Kanye, I don't know why I keep using him as an example. It's not like a lot of the time like somebody is writing the entire thing themselves. It's like, bro, there's 20 writers on it who all probably had like some part of it. They had their hand in it somehow,
Yeah.
which is just like,
I think I'm pretty sure DJ Khaled has like a team of producers.
yeah, I've never actually understood exactly what DJ Khaled does. Um, I'm
I heard from a video that all he does is oversee like all the producers that like sort of like work for him,
Mm-hmm.
and then he's like there like sort of directing and overseeing every single project, but he doesn't actually do that much.
Yeah,
He's
I was never. I
He really
was
just slaps his like logo on it.
Yeah, it's kind of like
Yeah.
one of those things where he's like big enough where he's like, "Yo, like you guys need me. Like I don't fucking need you." Like I said before, some dude comes with a beat. Yo, Khaled, you can make this a hit. You can get like crazy fucking people on it. You can get like Justin Timberlake and Lil Baby
Yeah.
on it. Like, go for it. Um, yeah, I never really understood what he did. I know people like hate on him and they're like, "Oh, all he does is say we the best." And I know there's like probably more to it than that, but like, yeah, I never really like understood his whole part in it. Someone said, PME said, yeah, that's what he does. He literally just puts people together and finds the right people. Yeah, yeah, I agree. Um, Someone who I feel like is an example I want to use, which I feel like it's this example is like if DJ Khaled actually did what he should do. It's like what's that guy's name? Calvin Harris. Have you ever listened to that Funk Wave album by Calvin Harris or no?
No.
It's like it's basically just this whole like funk album he did, and he did what DJ Khaled does, as in like put different huge artists together, but he also actually made the beats for this and like actually produced it. So like he did it the right way. Like I don't know who was on it. Nicki Minaj was on it. Ariana Grande was on it. Katy Perry, Big Sean, Snoop Dogg, um, Schoolboy
Damn. What?
Q, Frank Ocean was on it. The Migos were on. Yeah, bro, you got to check it out. It's really good. Khalid was on it. Future was on it. And like, dude, so basically it was just like a DJ esque album where every single song on it is stacked with like three like superstars. But like, dude, yeah, you got to check that out after this stream, bro. That shit goes so fucking hard. Yeah, PME said that project was fire too. Yeah, that project was fucking fire. That is, it's so
What's it called
fucking
again?
good. It's called it's Funk, and then it's WAV. It might be Funk Wave Bounce. If you just type in Funk Wave Calvin Harris, it'll probably pop up.
Okay.
You got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's kind of like I don't know if DJ Khaled did was what I don't know. It's like DJ Khaled if he was actually good. Like this dude not only puts together these incredible people, but like he also makes the beats and shit too. There's a dude. There's so many bangers on that. There's like only like one or two skips. He's got like Kaylani on it too. Lil Yachty, bro. Everybody. That shit goes hard as fuck.
Wow.
Yeah, that shit's fucking fire. Um, Yo, so for me, like since I like make, I'm like sing slash rap whatever. A lot of inspirations for me are just like singers or rappers. For you, are your inspirations different? Do you like look up to like different beat makers and shit?
Honestly, it's gonna sound weird, but like I kind like one of my like I look up to a lot of producers, right? But the person I look up to most is Gordon Ramsay, honestly.
Okay, like
Like
not it.
it's a little weird, but it's like in concept, he's just so good at what he does, and I feel like that can go for any sort of craft or art.
No, I get what you're saying because like obviously you're not looking up to him in the music sense. You're just looking up to him as in like this guy is someone who's like about his shit. He's like I don't know. I get exactly what you're saying. I'm like hard having a hard time putting into words too, but I also have people like that too. People who aren't like fucking musicians, but like they're still like inspirations to me in like one way or another.
Yeah.
But that's cool that Gordon Ramsay is like that person to you. Um, if you're talking about like beat makers, who are your like go tos? Like who do you really like?
I really like New Javis. Huge inspiration.
Is that wait, who is that?
Um,
Is he an
he
old school
he's
producer who did
often credited. Yeah, he's often credited with like starting lo-fi, pretty much.
Okay, that's cool. Are you into lo-fi?
Yeah, yeah. I just really like his I don't know. He was like the first. like artists outside of like, cause I grew up on like not even into hip hop or like not even in music in general, but like the music I would listen to, it was like alternative rock, like California rock, like Red Hot Chili Peppers, Nirvana, a little bit of grunge and stuff. But then like I just completely switched everything once I heard Nujabes,
Hmm.
and I was like, oh, I kind of like hip hop.
Bro,
He sort of got me into the genre.
that's funny that you say that because I have like an almost like exact kind of story too, dude. I only listen to like indie rock, alternative rock, like shit like that, dude. I was the same exact way. Like Red Hot Chili Peppers, Nirvana. I liked Oasis a lot. I'm telling you, bro. I literally didn't hear my first hip hop song until I was like your age, until I was like 17, and I remember someone put on like I think it was like Two Chains, and like I think it was like that Mercy remix. Yo, Cash, thank you for the bits, brother.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you know that. Yeah, it was like fucking Two Chains and Big Sean and all that shit. And I just remember like my boys were super into hip hop, and they knew I was super into rock. So like we're going back and forth playing songs. I'm like, yo, this is Oasis, guys. This is the master plan. This is this song. I'm like, all right, well, this is like Two Chains. I'm like, oh shit, this is kind of hard. And then I started listening to like hip hop and shit. But I was super late to the game too, and I feel like that's why one I like doing like sometimes I'll do like rock covers or whatever, but also I feel like I've been told before too, people can like a lot of the times hear that sort of like inspiration of my music too. Someone, a couple of people have told me I sound like the fucking Beastie Boys. Not that they're an inspiration for me, but I think I don't know. At some points you can hear like that kind of like rock influence in my kind of music. I used to really, really, really like the Flowbots.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I used to fucking love those guys. But yeah, it's kind of like a similar thing. I didn't get to hip hop until I was like 17, bro. And even nowadays, do you still listen to a lot of rock?
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I'm the same way. It's almost like you know how at the end of the year they have like the Spotify wrapped up recap bullshit, whatever. Um,
Oh
m-
yeah.
mine's like, whenever I actually go to that, mine's like always like pop punk, indie rock, like alternative rock, and then maybe like, I don't know, fucking Drake or some shit, you know. But for the most part, it's like all these different like rock dudes still. Um, this is like a two. This is a random question that I wanted to ask one of you guys who's on here. It has nothing to do with anything really. Yo, who do you think has the most die-hard fan base? What artist do you think?
Hmm.
I'll tell you mine after, if you got anything for this one.
Die hard fan base.
You know,
I
come.
honestly don't really pay attention to many fan bases. I'm more like self concerned, I guess.
Yeah, no, I totally get that. For me, what comes to mind is, dude, fucking Nicki Minaj, bro. Either her or Beyonce, but dude, Nicki
Really?
Minaj, yeah, her whole like they call themselves the Barbies or whatever. I've seen so many posts on like TikTok or like Instagram, whatever, where someone will literally just be like, they won't even like shit on her like to a crazy extent. PME said Beyonce for sure. Yeah, those motherfuckers are crazy, bro. Um, but I feel like Nicki Minaj, especially on like TikTok and shit, with all these like a lot of like younger people, someone will literally just be like, "Yo, Nicki Minaj is just." They won't even like shit on her that much. They'll just be like, "Yo, she's not the greatest rapper ever," and like that's a fair statement. But like hundreds of people will be like, "What do you mean? How are you fucking offending our queen like this? You asshole! Fuck you! All this crazy shit." And like, dude, they'll attack the shit out of this person. They'll try to like dox them or like some crazy shit, bro. It's fucking
Damn, what the heck?
it's wild, dude. Some of these people have like die hard fan bases who would just fucking long boy said
Oh,
what is
you
simp.
know what? Die hard fan base, K-pop. Oh my god, it's actually
Oh
the most
my
toxic community.
god. That's a great fucking example, dude. Do you listen to K-pop?
Yeah, holy. Nah.
Me neither. I know Longboy does. Longboy's a fucking simp for K-pop. Let's be honest. um, I don't listen to K-pop either, but it's funny that you bring it up because I think it was either yesterday or the day before. Bro, I live in the middle of the woods in like the fucking whatever, and my headphones were charging, and I don't have Bluetooth. I usually just pop my headphones in. But I was driving to the store, so my headphones were charging. I'm like, yo, let me just put on the fucking radio or whatever. And somehow, bro, all the way out here in the middle of the woods where it's just a bunch of hicks, like this lady's like, all right, we're gonna go through like top 5 K-pop songs. I'm like, bro, what the fuck? But yeah, dude.
Oh, one sec.
Yeah, no problem. Someone's in trouble. I was just joking, but I think he might actually be in trouble. Yo, yo.
Yo.
Yo, yo. You all good?
Yep.
All right. You all good to go? Word. Dude, I was just talking about K-pop. Like, I don't personally listen to K-pop. I have nothing against it either. It's just one of those things where it's just like I never got super into it. I think the reason is because I don't think a single one of my boys listens to K-pop. Um, I'm never like vibing out, and one of the homies is like, "Yo, throw on the new like K-pop joint." Like that's never happened to me. But yeah, I from what I've heard, those people are like fucking like insane like stands, and like they're just fucking. I don't know. Same thing like I was talking about before with the Nicki Minaj shit. Like those guys are just fucking piranhas waiting for you to say some shit about their favorite K-pop band.
Yeah. Honestly, I feel like I don't know why there's so many people who like care that much. It's like I just don't get how they're like into people who, but like they're just musicians. Like I only really care about their music, you know?
Yeah, I think celebrity culture is super weird. To like be obsessed with all these people. There's this one person who I always see on my TikTok for you page for whatever. Bro, this chick is like 45 years old, and then she does like TikTok news. She's like, here's the tea that's happening with these two 16-year-olds. This one commented on this one's page with this emoji. I'm like, bro, you're like 40. What the fuck cares? I don't even give a fuck. Like, why the fuck would you care about this shit? And like, it's just post after post after post. Oh, these two 16-year-olds broke up. You know, this person did this and looked at this way, one the wrong way. I'm like, bro, shut the fuck up with this celebrity culture bullshit. Um, like I said before, I don't listen to K-pop. Are there any like specific genres you don't listen to? Either because you don't fuck with it or just because you never got into it.
Um, hmm. I'm sure there's plenty that I just don't know about, like straight up. But I think everything I know about, other than like K-pop or just pop in general, or not like general pop. Like there's some pop songs like I kind of fuck with, but
I know what you're saying though. You're talking
pop
about like,
for the most part can get pretty repetitive.
oh yeah,
Yeah, like stuff like Ed Sheeran, like Justin Timberlake, stuff like that.
yeah. No, I totally get that. Yeah, for me, my genres that I just don't listen to, not even because I don't fuck with it, but just because for one reason or another, I just didn't listen to it. K-pop, which I didn't even know was a thing until recently, to be honest. I'm not like a huge EDM person. I know a lot of people are. I know it's like huge in a lot of places. I don't know, man. I've never really got super into EDM. It just was never my thing. I started to get into country a little bit more. Never was really too into like metal. And besides that, I'll kind of almost give like anything a chance, honestly.
Yeah, same.
Like I feel like I don't know. I feel like some songs are just like masterpieces, and it doesn't matter if that's pop punk or rap or trap or some shit. Like, I don't know. If I hear like a good
Yeah,
song that I like, you know, I like it. That's it. I don't care what fucking genre it is. Longboy
yeah. It's like
said,
music is music.
yeah, no, I totally agree. Longboy said, I swear I looked at K-pop band and I see like 5 people that look exactly the same. Word. Let's see what else we got. Yo, as a producer, what are your thoughts on sampling? Because I know it's like kind of controversial, I would say, for producers.
honestly, I think sampling it's so essential, and I feel like anyone who shits on sampling, it's like they're trying too hard to be original. I feel like it's almost like compensation in a way because they feel like they're not original enough, or like they don't feel like other people are being as original as them, or like originality is just something like to be, I don't know, just like something that's like a status symbol, I guess. But honestly, I would argue nothing is original. Like everything, because like if you think about it, the tunes that sort of subconsciously come into your head, they're based off other tunes that you've heard before. So it's like nothing is purely original unless you're like doing some weird like pure music theory, like, oh, this is technically correct, or this is popular, this is a popular chord progression. But even then, like popular chord progressions, things you know that work, they've been used before, and that's how you know they work because they have been used before.
I,
And then there's some people who do like experimental type of stuff, but then it's like it's kind of experimental. It's either hit or miss, you know?
yeah, I totally agree, and also I totally agree, and I think it's a smart thing to say. Like nothing is like truly original, and I don't mean that to like shit on anyone, but I totally agree. It's like it is original in a sense, but it's like, dude, it's like derivative from, like, you got it from somewhere, some sort of inspiration, and there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not shitting on that at all, but I'm saying like you didn't make up that tune in your head. You know, you didn't do that all by yourself. It's like, no, you listened to these bands growing up, and that kind of influenced you, and you heard that song on the radio 4 days ago, and that kind of influenced you, and you know these people play this music or whatever. Yeah, of course. I think that's a really good point. I think you're absolutely correct. I think for anyone who actually has a problem with sampling, I would just say to them, like, kind of just grow up almost. Like, I don't know. I feel like it's it's I don't know. I feel like any viewpoint where they think sampling is wrong, I feel like that's just like a super outdated, closed-minded viewpoint. I feel like
Yeah.
I feel like sampling in itself is almost like an art. You know what I mean? Like it can almost be like an art form itself,
Yeah.
because it's not like sampling's. I don't make beats, so I don't know. But I feel like sampling is probably not easy, and two, you have to still find these samples and splice it up and figure out which parts of it you want and which parts will go in the song and where it goes and all this shit. Um, it's not like you're just. It's not like you're just copying someone, like taking their work and posting it right onto a beat. It's not that easy. It's like you got to do all these different things and trim it, and then I don't know, I'm sure you still have to mix it down and all this shit and like figure out where it's going to go. And a lot of the times people use
Yeah.
samples in a way that it doesn't even sound anything like the original, so it's like almost its own new piece of music anyway. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I feel like you could also use sampling strategically. Like I saw one YouTube video a while back where it was basically saying like the reason why Kanye was so successful as a producer is because of his sampling, but more so because he used his sampling kind of in the way, like I'm telling you, like in like an art form, and he used it like super strategically, and he was able to like bend certain words so that it sounded like different lyrics than where he took the sample from, depending on like what song he put it into. Um, I don't remember what song exactly. I want to say it might be that song "I Wonder" by him. Like, I I don't remember exactly what it is, but basically the guy was like, "Yo, this is what you guys think he's saying, right?" And like, no, that's not what he's saying. The only reason why it sounds like that is because Kanye bended it and manipulated it to the point where you guys think that's what it is. But here's like what the original lyrics say. Um, so I feel like in a way it is its own like art form, you know?
Yeah. I think one thing people debate more about, I think it's less whether like sampling's good or bad, but like how, or like where the boundary is where you should credit somebody. Because like I think there's like parts where it's like, oh yeah, this original enough to be like, oh, you don't have to credit this person, or like, oh, you shouldn't have to credit anyone at all, or like I don't know. I think that's where the more that's where more of the debate is, I think.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I feel like it's tricky in the music industry, not even just with sampling, but I feel like, and I've been seeing this a lot online too recently, it's like people will compare two songs and say somebody copied somebody, and like the two songs, in my opinion, some of them don't even sound anything like the same sometimes. But there's got to be a line like that really big Juice World song. What's it called?
Oh yeah.
Uh,
Um
I still see your
Lucid
shine.
Dreams?
Yeah, yeah. Lucid Dreams. I know that song. I don't know what original song he took it from, but I know that specific example. Like, I'm pretty sure it was like overwhelmingly like everybody agreed. Like not he like I don't want to say copy, but like he took the tune of a different song. I'm pretty sure he got sued to shit over that one too,
Yeah.
which is crazy because that song has like literally over, and I checked today because I was listening to it, uh, over 1 billion plays on Spotify. I think I saw something where like he wasn't able to keep any of the profits from that song, but I don't know. Either way, it's not.
I think they were able to split it.
Oh, maybe they did, but okay, that's cool. Um, yeah, but it's cool that I feel like there's like a certain line that needs to be drawn. Like you said, and kind of like I was saying before, sometimes they sample it and they splice it up to the point where like it doesn't even sound like the original. So should you still even credit them then? And then at the other end of the spectrum, there is like Juice World with that song, where like apparently he just kind of took their melody, or however the fuck that went. I don't know.
Yeah, honestly, in my opinion, I think the line should be drawn with time because I think like Lucid Dreams was a fire. I thought it was pretty fire when it came out.
Oh
I mean,
yeah,
of course it was overplayed, but
oh yeah, yeah, definitely overplayed, but
um, I think it was a pretty good song, right?
oh
But
yeah,
then I know he used the sample, but I think the line should be drawn with time because like if someone were to make a song like say in the 50s and then like 200 years from now no one like hardly anyone cares about the song that like compared to that it's like comparing like like some medieval dudes like song with a lute or something
yeah,
or like a renaissance composer or something and like trying to steal that as if it has like still like relevance to the owner and it's like stuff like that um I think with enough time you should be able to just be able to use it or not like completely like repost it but you should be able to use a decent amount of it and not be able to claim the melody. I think after like a certain amount of time you should be able to it should be like it should become like public domain pretty much
yeah.
like the melody not the song itself but like the melody
Yeah,
or
I
like any of the elements.
right. Yeah, I think that's a really good point. Like you said, if someone's like sampling like I don't know, like a singer, like a random ass singer from the 1920s, bro. Like, bro, that's over 100 years ago. Who's really just gonna remember it from that? Yeah, you know what I mean. Fuck all that. But
Yeah.
I think I don't know how it goes with music. I think there's something with like movies, like, or maybe it's just in general. I think like after a certain amount of time, movies can like use random songs after it's been like a certain amount of years. Like maybe it's 100 years. I don't know how fucking long it is, but like something like that. Like after it's been a certain amount of time, they can finally like the rights are up to it and like it's free use basically. And I don't know if that applies to
Yeah.
music too, but I feel like it also should be something like that. Like it's all right, dude. For 100 years, it's yours, and then after that, like obviously, like you said, don't allow people to just repost it because that's stupid. But like allow them to kind of like use it for their benefit and to like make it new and their own and creative and all this shit.
Yeah, I think like in the lucid dreams example, I think it was definitely too recent for him to really like use it and especially given that like he knew what he was doing, like intentionally grabbing from the song. And it's like one thing if like you happen to come up with the exact same thing, because like it's technically not impossible. Like there's room for coincidence that I think people like should be able to consider. But then it's like I don't know. I think it's definitely circumstantial, but I also don't think like profit from it should be entirely taken or like to like a good extent. Like if you went through the trouble to make it, post it, advertise it, then like you shouldn't have the whole profits taken, you know?
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I think it's a good point. I feel like it shouldn't be so black and gray. Like there should be people who like look at it like I don't know some like council type shit where they're like, all right, he used this much of the song and like we can clearly tell it's still that song, so maybe he should only make this amount of money or whatever. I think something that
Yeah.
if there was something like that that they should keep in mind, I feel like how popular the song is that they sampled should be like a huge factor in how much money they make. Like I think obviously both of us are too young to know the song that Juice World sampled. Really, we're not too young to know it, but too young to like know it as it came out. Because I think it was like an old police song or something, or I don't remember who he took it from. It was like an older band from the '80s, I think. Um, but I think it should depend on how popular the song is they're sampling because I think for Juice World's example, the song that he sampled was huge at some point, like in the 80s or whatever. So if you're sampling a song that was like a hit at one point, maybe you either shouldn't be allowed to or there should be a lot of regulations. But if you're just sampling a random song that never took off and it was just like, I don't know, you happen to stumble upon it somehow, um, I feel like they should probably be a lot more lenient with letting you use that in that sense, you know?
Or well, I feel like it shouldn't be I don't think popularity should be really a factor cuz like just think about it like some let's say you made like a really dope melody but like it just never gets heard and then somebody else with all these agents, all these like all this popular like stuff, all these resources, they're able to take a part of that, right? And then be able to make a whole bunch of money off that. But it's like I kind of came up with that though, and it's like I got like next to nothing, and it's sort of like I think it's also kind of unfair on that end.
I actually do think that is a really good point. Because, yeah, because a lot of the times it doesn't come down to just talent. It's like, yeah, someone might because if we were doing it like I said before, which now I just realize is wrong, it's like, yo, a big dude is like a bigger artist who has all this backing behind him and resources can just find a little fucking SoundCloud artist like me or whatever and be like, yo, this is dope. I'm taking this. Like, this is mine now because he has the power to market the shit out of it. And you know what I mean? Yeah, I think that
Yeah,
is a really good point. I don't know. Either way, there's got to be some sort of like fucking regulations on this shit.
oh, yeah, for sure.
Anyways, with that being said, we're just about out of time. Anything you want to say, ProdGuest, before we out of here?
Um, I need to do calculus work.
You got some calculus work to do. All right, word. Yo, if anyone's not following ProdGuest, go ahead and with that follow. Thank you, PME. Thank you, Longboy. Thank you, Average Cash. Thank you for contributing to the 12-hour stream challenge, too. Thank you for the bits, brother. Average Cash. Shout out Average Cash. He's the man. Peace out, guys. Have a good night.